These 5 truths sound simple, but actually believing them in your trading, not just intellectually, changes everything. Mark Douglas called them the 5 fundamental truths of trading, and they're the foundation of probability thinking. You can understand them in 5 minutes, but integrating them into your trading, actually believing them when you're in a position, when you're on a streak, when you're in a drawdown, that's the work. Because knowing these truths and trading like you believe them are 2 completely different things. Truth 1. Anything can happen. On any trade, at any moment, the market can do anything. It doesn't matter how strong your analysis is. It doesn't matter how perfect the setup looks. Anything can happen. And if you don't fully accept this before you enter the trade, you'll be surprised when the market doesn't do what you expected. And surprise creates emotional reactivity. Accepting that anything can happen means you're prepared for any outcome, not attached to one. Truth 2. You don't need to know what happens next to make money. Your edge doesn't require prediction. It doesn't require certainty. It only requires that you execute your process consistently across a series of trades. You don't need to know which trades will win. You just need to know that over enough trades, your edge gives you a probability advantage. The not knowing is part of the game. And once you accept that, the pressure to be right on this trade disappears. Truth 3. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables. Your edge doesn't determine the order of your wins and losses. You might lose 5 in a row. You might win 7 in a row. Both are consistent with a profitable edge. The distribution is random. And random means you can't control it. You can't predict it. You can only execute through it. Losing streaks don't mean your edge is broken. Winning streaks don't mean you figured it out. They're both just variants playing out. Truth 4. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over another. It's not a guarantee. It's not certainty. It's a statistical advantage. That's it. If your edge wins 55% of the time with good risk-reward, that's enough. But it doesn't tell you what happens on this trade. It tells you what happens over a large sample. An understanding that your edge is probabilistic, not deterministic, changes how you respond to individual results. Truth 5. Every moment in the market is unique. Even if the setup looks the same, even if the chart pattern matches, this moment is different from every other moment. The participants are different. The context is different. The liquidity is different, which means the outcome can be different. Your edge accounts for that. It's based on probability across unique moments, not repetition of identical scenarios. This trade might look like the last one, but it's not. And treating each trade as independent keeps you from projecting past results onto future ones. Now here's the hard part. Most traders read these 5 truths and say, "Yeah, I get it. Anything can happen. I don't need to predict." There's randomness. But getting it intellectually is not the same as believing it in your trading. Believing it means you stop being surprised when a perfect setup loses. Believing it means you don't question your edge after 3 losses in a row. Believing it means you stay consistent through variance because you understand that variance is built into the model. Intellectual understanding is easy. Behavioral acceptance is the work. You'll know you've integrated these truths when you stop reacting to individual results. When you execute a trade and it loses, and your only thought is, "That's one of the losses my edge accounts for." When you're on a winning streak, and you don't start thinking you've figured out the market. When you're on a losing streak, and you don't start doubting your process. That's what it looks like to actually believe these truths. Not just know them, believe them. And that belief is what creates consistency. Because if you truly believe these 5 truths, most of your emotional triggers lose their power. You're no longer surprised. You're no longer attached. You're just executing probabilities, and that's the game.